Hey guys, Becky here with Design Bundles, and I'm super excited to have you here today. What we're going to talk about is one you don't want to miss because we are going to answer all your questions about using a Cricut EasyPress. So guys, here we are. Now, what I'm going to talk to you today is about the Cricut EasyPress 2. Now, a lot of these principles will apply to the Cricut EasyPress original model, but the thing that I want to specify the most is you will hear me talk a little bit about using these for sublimation. And the original Cricut EasyPress, from what I understand, it does not go up to 400 degrees, which means that it is not practical. It is not going to work for most of your sublimation projects because you need that higher temperature, okay? But for the most part, these are really, really great. And, you know, guys, I'm not gonna lie, when I first got them, I was very skeptical. And I had actually heard people refer to them as an overpriced iron. And I was like, you know, that really makes sense to me because of still having to apply the pressure yourself. But guys, let me tell you, that is not true. That is not true. And that's pretty rare coming from me. I don't buy into a lot of things easily, but I now have one of each size of all of the Cricut EasyPresses. I love them. I use them all the time. You see me use them all the time in my videos. They are very versatile. I take them with me when I teach, and they have a small footprint. They're so easy to use, and I just really like them, guys. I like them. They have a lot of benefits and they do have some drawbacks. So we talked about the fact that it has a small footprint. I can store this or this or this anywhere, okay? I can, well, I guess I don't mean anywhere. I'm not gonna put it in my purse, but I can store them in a cabinet. I can put them on a shelf. You know, when you're comparing this to a full-size heat press, these are very, very small. And the fact that I can complete the same projects with this that I can a full-size heat press, that's a big deal for me. Okay, so very, very small. I can hide them if I'm working with a small area, or if I travel a lot, they travel really well. These are very sturdy machines, okay? Really, really love them a lot. Now, they do come with a little bit of a hefty price tag, so that is one of my cons, because that still just is a lot. All right, I would have loved to see these come in at a lower price. They did not. I don't control that stuff. You know, they don't consult me before they set the pricing. And I mean, let's face it, I'm a thrifty crafter. Okay. Now you can actually come really close to a full-size heat press for the price that you pay for the largest one. But some of these smaller ones are actually really affordable. So you're looking at about, I think the latest price, this was on sale for $180. And then it used to be $200, $150, $100, and then just $50. So it was like a little stair-step effect going on there. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the little baby tiny one is not super practical. For $50, I would have at least gone up to the 6x7, and I'll give you the breakdown of each one of these, but it is just so cute. You're totally buying that for the cute factor, okay? So just something to keep in mind when I'm talking about all these. So the largest one that they have is a 12x10. Then we have the 9x9, the 6x7, and then the little small baby press. Let me show you. Guys, really? Really? So, super cute. Just to give you a comparison, let me hold this up for you. This is your 12x10. This is the 9x9. This is the same size as the original EasyPress. And then this is your 6x7. Now, you also need, well, I guess you don't have to, but you're gonna want to get these little pressing pads here, all right? They are very, very useful. Now, I was always taught that I want a hard, flat surface for using heat transfer vinyl, but I tell you what, guys, pressing on these foam pads are actually very firm, okay? And I have not had any problems as long as I can get the good pressure myself. All right, now what that means, and this is another drawback for me, is the pressure relies on me. So even when you see me pressing in my videos off camera, I'm over here doing this, you know, trying to really get that good pressure on there. So if you're going to use an EasyPress, the answer for that is to try to use it on a shorter surface. All right, even if that means you're using it on the floor. And let me explain why. Because I'm having to lean into this and really apply a lot of pressure with my arms. If I scoot it forward and this was lower, I would actually be able to just lean my body weight on top of it. So it puts less strain on my body and my arms when I can just use my body weight. I can even take my entire forearm and lean on it. Okay, so definitely keep that in mind. Don't make it any harder on yourself than it has to be. This is not supposed to be a painful experience that you're going to regret later. This is a very fun experience, and we're going to learn how to make it that way if you have those types of physical limitations, okay? So another downfall, in my opinion, is, so we talked about the pressure issue, but also the footprint. Okay, now I just talked about the footprint being a benefit because you could pack these away. But a lot of your, well, I don't know about you guys, but a lot of my adult size t-shirts, I do 11 inches wide, and then sometimes the design can take up a pretty good portion. So what that means is I may have to press 2, sometimes even 3 times. Now in my 15 by 15 heat press, I don't have to do that. I can plop my shirt in there, press it, take it back out and wear it, right? Now, that is not really like terrible. That's not super terrible, but that just leaves room for a little bit of user error because there may be spots that you miss, or there is a possibility. Oh, it's getting my attention, excuse me. We'll talk about that feature in just a minute, but there is the possibility that you can miss a place because you have to rely on yourself to pick it up and move it for multiple presses, okay? Again, not that big of a deal, but it is a thing you need to be aware of. Now, what you just heard is we'll call it a built-in alarm system, okay? One of the main benefits, and the reason why I use it a lot, even when I don't have to, they heat up very fast. And I don't mean like in an unsafe way. I just mean they get to temperature. They don't play around. They say, okay, we're turned on. Let's do this thing. And they get to 320 or whatever temperature I put it on. And it will give me just one beep and it'll say, hey, beep, I'm ready. Okay. Now, when you've done what I've done and you just allow it to sit here, it starts to feel ignored and wants to make sure that you don't forget about it, which is an excellent safety feature. And if I were to not do anything, I were to not interact with this machine at all, it would automatically shut off. That is so excellent, okay? My larger heat press does not do that. As a matter of fact, between me and you guys can't tell anybody, one time I left my heat press on for 4 days. I know it's terrible. I'm actually very lucky that I did not burn down my little shop here. I went home for the weekend and I came back and the heat press was still on. So knowing that this guy will automatically shut off if you are a forgetful crafter, okay, that is very, very important. Okay, so let's talk about a couple other things. You have a lot of reliability with these, all right? These are made by Cricut, they're sold by Cricut, and Cricut really backs up their products. Okay, so make sure that you keep your packaging because you do have a warranty period. With most Cricut products, it's a year. So keep your boxes because if something happens and these don't work right, Cricut is a company that is known, I mean, really, really known for standing behind their products. All right, so that is very important to me and a very good deciding factor if I were debating on whether to buy these or not, because I know that it's less of a risk than with a lot of other crafting investments I can make. I love my Cricut machine, I love my Cricut Easy Presses, and I know that if something were to go wrong within that warranty period, then Cricut is gonna make me right, okay? All right, guys, so let's get started. Let's go ahead. I have some heat transfer vinyl that has already been cut and weeded. And this is a flour sack towel, super, super inexpensive, not something that you have to worry about messing up. It's a great practice item and I love it. So I'm gonna position my pressing pad here. It's the perfect size for this. Now I wanna find my tag, just make sure that my tag is on the other side. And I'm gonna position my towel. All right, I wanna try to get this. This towel already came with a fold line right down the middle, so that works really, really well to be able to tell. But don't forget, you can always fold your item in half and do your own fold line, okay? And you can press that fold line straight in there and it will help you tremendously with straightening up your design. Okay, all right. I am gonna go ahead and get my Teflon sheet. I'm gonna have it handy. I'm gonna line up my design. What am I doing? I got sidetracked. I'm going to pre-press. Okay, now the reason I'm gonna pre-press is that this will get out any moisture that is stuck in the fabric. Okay, also make sure I don't have any wrinkles. Now, if you're pressing a shirt, or if I needed a fold line in this, you could actually fold this in half and you would knock out your pre-press and your fold line all at one time. It works out really, really great. All right, put my design back on, cover back up with my Teflon. Now, in case you were wondering, here, I'm gonna lean into it while we talk about this. In case you were wondering, the temperature of your heat press is set by your heat transfer vinyl manufacturer. Okay, so depending on the type of HTV that you're pressing will determine the temperature and the time that you're pressing it for. I'm at 320 for about 15 seconds. And then also, a lot of people that use a Cricut EasyPress, they don't talk a whole lot about using a Teflon sheet. I think this is a hot peel, so I'm gonna go ahead and peel it off. Oh, maybe not. All right, let's let it cool off. This must be a cold peel. Now, that is something that you will have to watch out for when you have scraps like I do. I have scraps all over the place, but just some types of heat transfer vinyl, you have to wait for them to cool. All right, that's another reason why the EasyPress is useful, because you can press it and walk away, and I really like that a lot. So, let's see. There we go. All right, guys, a little trial and error, but there we go. There is our project. Let me fold it up for you. I mean, it's as folded as a flower tack towel gets, right? Just kidding. So, but while I'm folding this, let's go ahead and recap. So the Cricut Easy Presses they're very versatile. I really like them a lot. They're great if you have a small area, or if you travel a lot, or if you press a lot of large items, because remember, you can move this instead of moving your project through your heat press. There we go, ta-da! But it really is, it has a lot of very, very good qualities. I really like it. Especially if it was something I was going to put on my Christmas list, I would like it even more. I'm not saying that you need one in every size like I have, but they are handy to have around. And guys, maybe you can become a collector too. So, all right, well, I am going to wrap it up. I appreciate you joining me today. Hopefully you enjoyed not only my little lecture that I prepared on the Cricut Easy Presses, but you also enjoyed our little project here. And I just wanted to show you how simple and easy it is to use the Cricut Easy Presses. They're great little machines. I like them a lot, and hopefully you do too. So let me wrap it up. I appreciate you stopping by today. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you leave those below. I do absolutely love to hear from you guys. If you have any video requests, I love to hear those too, because I want to make sure that I am bringing you guys quality content that you want to see. All right. Now, of course, on your end, I'm going to ask you to do that, like, subscribe, and share. Make sure you turn on notifications. That way you get to see all of the awesome videos that we put out. And guys, I just really appreciate it. I appreciate every time you take the time to stop by and watch one of my videos. And hey, I'll see you again next time.